YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Look at this thing. It's so pretty. This is an XK offering. It's called the A310, some whatever name. I don't care what it's called. It doesn't matter because you're going to find it in the links. This thing is awesome. I can't wait to fly it, and we're going to put it down. I'm calling it Pits.
Yep.
Weird. Okay, so there's all sorts of nonsense in the manual about how these buttons work. We're just gonna go ahead and fly it. There's also a light control button, but as you can see, there's no lights. So without further ado, we are going to taxi just a little bit. No, we're gonna take off. Here we go. Okay, that is a weird way of flying. It's strangely easy to fly, even though it's like hammerheading itself. Like, it's very easy to control, but like, what the heck is going on with it? Very hard to tell what direction it's going. For reals. What the heck is going on with this? It's like, it's very, very wonky, terrible control so far. Okay, I'm gonna press, I think I'm in the wrong mode. I'm gonna press whatever this button is. Okay, very difficult to tell what direction you're going too. Strangely difficult. The visibility is very good, but it's hard to tell what direction you're going.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because it's all the same color. Now it's flying quite a bit better. It was almost like it was in some sort of like an auto hammerhead sort of thing. 50% throttle, 2S, 500 milliamp hour. A little bit of coordinated turn here, watching out for the flagpole. Feels pretty good right now, but it is auto leveling. It's just very strange and wonkadelic. Definitely flying.
Maybe you're in senior mode.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Okay, so now that's 2 beeps. Okay, so I hit the button on dual rates. Okay, I hit it again. What is going on with the wings? Like, I genuinely don't understand what this thing is trying to accomplish in its flight performance. It's very strange, but it's not crashing. Like, it's what I don't understand is like, it's flying terribly and yet it's not crashing. So I guess it's coordinating something when I turn. You see that? Every time I bank it, it coordinates itself, but it's like really terrible looking.
Is it doing that wing rock or is that you?
No, I'm like, I have no hands on the controls at all right now. Like, look, nothing. Watch this. Just watch my sticks as I do this. You see what it's doing that. Okay, I'm hitting this button at the top, and it's still like very weird. I mean, it's crazy because it's still flying, and yet, okay, all right. So maybe it's because I'm trying to coordinate my turns like a skilled pilot would. And you don't have to be all that skilled, guys. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just saying, okay.
It seems
now it's
better.
Now it's like, but I'm using one stick. Look, I'm using the ailerons and the elevator. Oh, what the heck was that? Okay, so I'm at a certain altitude. That's what they said in the manual a lot. At a certain altitude, do this or do that. I gotta say, this is like, I feel like this is flying by suggestion. It's most definitely, I mean, it looks absolutely gorgeous when it's not like waffling in some sort of a hammerhead. Hold on a sec, this is bizarre. I don't know what the heck is going on. Okay, so pressing the top button again, there's beep, beep, beep. Did you hear the beep, beep,
Yep.
beep, beep?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so harder on the throttle. What in the heck is it doing? And then there's, okay, so now you see how it leveled?
Yeah, I did.
There's 3 beeps. How do I get it into senior citizen mode again, hun?
I don't know.
Whoa. I just like genuinely don't know what is happening here. It is the most bizarre, strange. This thing should have crashed 100 times by now.
It should have.
Like I know what it's like to control a plane, and this is not it. This is kind of like, I feel like I'm driving some sort of a car, and like the driver is intentionally behaving like they're drunk. I have to go up high because the turning radius is definitely leaves something to be desired. Whoa, whoa, it's beeping at me. I don't know what that means, but something's happening. This is a really bad flying plane. Holy cow. Like, I mean, I should have crashed just by the sheer terribleness of the flying performance.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
I'm gonna try to land it, but
it's dead.
no, it's yeah, that's gonna be a voltage alarm. which is nice. I mean, it's like, hey, let's just forget to make it fly well. Like, this is probably one of the worst flying planes we've ever had.
But it hasn't crashed.
I don't know how it hasn't.
I don't either.
Woo! No, okay, that was like one of the worst RC experiences I've ever had in my life. And yet it didn't crash. I don't even know how it didn't crash.
I don't either.
Every time I turned, it would just like do this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I almost have to assume there's something wrong with this. Because first of all, I can't believe it survived. It looks amazing. Maybe it's just like incredibly, terribly like tail heavy, which is kind of what it's acting like. But then, okay, let's pull out the battery. We're doing another battery, guys. Okay, I unplugged it. Gosh, that's annoying.
Okay.
Shut off the transmitter. Okay, so this is the one we use in our Unbox. So if you watch the Unbox build radio setup, you'll understand what's going on. Okay, in my other pocket, I have a fresh one. Okay, so ours came with two 500 milliamp hour 2S. Guys, we're just like you. We see the videos online of these planes looking phenomenal. And then I'm like, what is going on? Did you guys sell your soul to the devil?
Right.
Like, how is it? Or did they just get a better one? Like, I don't understand. I'm gonna put the battery this way this time. Instead of going I was vertical. That might have made it tail heavy, guys. But all I got to say is, I mean, that was an absolutely ludicrously bad experience. Like, not even close to fun. And yet it didn't crash. That's what I literally cannot understand how it didn't crash. Because the stabilizer is evidently so good that it can keep up with just the absolutely terrible control characteristics of this plane. I don't know. I
just kept thinking, at least it'll be easy to find in the snow.
Yeah, because well, and I think I might have unplugged the battery a little bit. They put the zip tie in here to kind of like keep things where they need to be. But boy, that makes it difficult to load. Okay. All right, so a couple things. First of all, I'm gonna tell you, there was no CG marking. I still feel like the thing is terribly tail heavy, okay? We're just put it down. We're gonna take off this way. We're just gonna wait for it to go through its like heartbeat monitor. It's a solid light this time. Now we might've been in some other mode because we were pressing the buttons in there to demo. So maybe we put in like senior citizen mode or something.
But we don't have, but wouldn't it come out of that mode if you it just says push a button.
Up and then down to arm it. Okay, well, whoa. I mean, it's just weird because it actually flies and yet it flies so terrible.
But would you learn to fly flying?
No,
this?
You would just like be like, what the heck did I just do? I still don't understand what I'm doing. Hey, I got it to look pretty good though.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Ooh, let's publish this and say it's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, we don't do that on Brian Phillips RC. We say it sucks if it sucks. It does look like the pits, the micro pits, is trying to make baby pits.
It looks really cool.
Whoa!
There we go.
I finally crashed it.
Finally.
That's crazy that it survived that long. I want to try hand launching this thing. Folks, we've flown a lot of planes on this channel, okay? And I love flying planes. But man, if they suck, it's not a very fun experience. Oh, look, we have one victim. One victim here, okay? Just gonna pick this up. Camera crew's gonna carefully hold that, and I'm gonna snap this back on. You know what? I'm tempted to just leave those unhooked and just see if the lower ailerons are good enough.
Really?
But I mean, I just cannot believe, this is gonna pop right on. Yeah. I just can't believe when it's like doing this and it's keeping control of everything. Ugh. We really hit the prop bad that time. I wanna try hand launching this too. There's nothing quite like a hand launch of a Pitts.
Where are you going? Which one?
I hit the dual rates button.
Okay.
Didn't really mean to. Look at the windsock is super, we're gonna go this way.
Okay.
Okay, camera crew.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa,
On your left.
whoa. Whoa, the down. Wow, that thing pops against the house.
It does.
This is like some of the worst controls we've had on a plane ever. And yet it flies. I don't understand it. Is it possible that, you know, you're supposed to like throw away the battery that came with it and put something else in there?
But why? Would that help?
I don't know, that's kind of a smart aleck remark. but that's okay. I mean, I love the colors. Wow, that was so, it was actually not close. I did that on purpose, believe it or not. What I genuinely cannot believe, stop, let me get ahead of you.
Okay.
I just genuinely can't believe, okay, now come back. I genuinely cannot understand how this plane is still in one piece. Oh, because it's such a terrible flying plane. I mean, it is really, really bad. And yet there, oh, there it is. And I just want it to be so good. How do I go to senior mode? There's like, you have to press this.
The top
and then,
right side button.
okay. Okay, that's terrible.
Maybe the light button does something because we don't have lights.
I don't know. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try the light button. You guys ready for the light button?
Yep.
Nothing. It's limited in bank angles. You can see that.
There's supposed to be a manual mode where there's no stabilizer.
Yeah, I know, but you have to press 2 different buttons.
Well, I know, and we don't know in what.
Yeah, I'm ooh.
Well, and if you accidentally get it to do it, it's not like we're gonna know what we did.
Yeah, it's just gonna crash instantaneously. I genuinely do not understand what is happening with this plane. It's just such, flyby suggestion is like the epitome of, like if you got this and you wanted to learn to fly, you'd be like, I don't know what just happened. Because you just sort of like move the sticks and it sort of does a little something. And then you move the sticks another way and it does like a little something else. There's a tree there I'm trying to watch out for. And then it does that and yet it doesn't crash. Then I hit that button. I don't know if it like leveled itself, like it comes out of a heading hold, or if it releases it so that you can kind of fly it a little better. I really, really want to fly it bad. But it's like, no matter what mode I'm in, it just seems to be equally crappy to the previous terrible mode. And the only direction that you actually have control over is pointing the nose down. It's like, I just don't understand it at all. This is so bizarre. Oh boy, whoa, gotta go over the house. So we've done a lot of these like 400, 500 millimeter warbirds and different planes over the years. That one's totally gonna crash. This has got to be one of the worst.
Yeah, probably.
This is terrible. Like it's not even like fun. It's funny, but it's not fun. Did we get a bad one, you suppose?
I don't know, but like it was easy to build. Didn't seem like there was anything wrong with it.
Well, that seems heavy.
Okay.
It's got tons of power. I mean, to be honest with you, you know, what was the last one we did? We did one that was on a 2S and it was terrible.
That was a different brand though.
Yeah, I know. But like this thing is like really heavy.
So
and
3S isn't gonna help that.
And there's way too much deflection on the elevator, like way too much down elevator deflection. And I don't know if the thing is just really nose heavy or what. They don't mention what I'm just gonna fly. I'm just gonna fly. And when I say fly, I mean, I'm like quite literally, guys, you gotta see this. It's just nutty.
Yeah, but
you're not really flying. You're just sort of like watching it do something at a given time. Like I didn't. Oh. Don't go in the trees. I don't want to look at that stupid thing.
No.
There it is. Okay, so we're good. Oh yeah, there it is. Beautiful landing. Look at that. So yeah, if you love fly-by suggestion planes, okay, I'm gonna shut that off because it's driving me crazy already. Then you will love this plane. Guys, what is going on with this? Who decided that this was good enough? I want to know who flies airplanes that would be okay with that. Not me.
Right.
This is terrible. And the funny thing, it's absolutely gorgeous. I wanted this so badly to be great. And yet it wasn't. Not even close. I'm going to arm it again so I can get the snow off of here. But I mean, it's just like all the things you don't want a plane to do. It's wonky as heck. You turn and you just like totally lose control of it. You have to get into the throttle to try to manage the auto leveling, and every time you do something, it mixes in controls unexpectedly. It's just a really bad experience. It's hard to explain just how bad it is.
I mean, I can tell from watching.
I mean, it's not fun at all. And yet this thing is still in one piece and not broken. So I don't know if that's like good or bad, because at least if it was broken, we could be done with it. So we don't do a lot of scathing reviews on Brian Phillips RC because truthfully, we don't want to beat up on, these companies that make airplanes for us to enjoy. But man, oh man, this thing sucks so bad. It's terrible. It's got to be one of the worst that we've ever flown. And you know what else? It reminds me of the yellow XK, the last XK we did that was an airplane. And that was a real stinker. And it was like one of the most gorgeous J3 Cubs we've ever had. It
wasn't this bad though.
No, not even close to this bad. So I don't know if there's something wrong with ours or there's something systemically wrong, but if you read the manual and just like understand what they're trying to articulate, you'll get it. Because that's about how it flies.
Yep.
And Megan will read that at the end of the unbox. But guys, I'm not gonna waste any more of your time on this. I wouldn't recommend you waste your time on it either. But if you're really crazy, here's one thing you could do with this that would be okay and intelligent. You could see if you can rip out the receiver and put like a ultra micro receiver in there. And you could probably make the thing fly great, but it's just like, is so wonk and all over the place. I feel like I'm like totally out of control of it. And we have a pretty good amount of space here. So if you're flying this in a tight spot, it's gonna be catastrophic, okay? You might wanna wear a helmet, maybe even two, because this thing is just gonna be all over the place. And yet it flies. It just keeps like, oh, whatever, I'll just do this. I don't need to go straight. So I don't understand. We've flown tons of pits too. We've done 850 millimeter pits. We've done a 1.4 meter pits. We've done, there's a UMX pits, which is glorious, by the way. So it's like they've always been great. Yeah. So I don't know exactly where to place the blame on this. And I don't think I used the wrong screw to put the wing in.
I don't think that would do it.
Yeah, I don't think it would do it.
That's the problem.
But you know what? This would make a really good, this is the exact color of our windsock.
Matches.
And when you go up against the dark house and the dark building, it looks awesome. But man, oh man, I thought you'd be able to see exactly when you're flying this.
No,
it turns into this like turd of green. Mm-hmm. And it reminds me, back in the day, we did a Hobby King plane, and it was at the Lancaster bomber.
Yes.
And that thing looked like a giant turd, like just a turd, literally. That's all you could see. And that thing was so tip-stally. Man, if you gave it too much elevator in a turn, it would just like kill itself right there. Blow up in a million pieces. That's what this should be doing, and yet it keeps flying. So there's some sort of voodoo magic going on in this, and yet it's still terrible. So, I don't know how else to explain it. If you haven't watched Brian Phillips RC before, then you may not get just the breadth of how terrible this experience was. So we hope we've articulated it. Now, if you want to buy one of these, there's a link in the video description below, and you can buy one, and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. But when you get it, and it's a terrible experience, I want you to come back and report about just how terrible it was in the comments below, because I am curious to hear what you guys have experienced with your versions of this. I don't know if it's too heavy, if it's way too nose heavy, way too tail heavy. The flight controller is the problem. I don't know how to get into senior citizen mode. Look, it says senior mode on it. There is literally a senior mode, but I mean, it's so confusing. You read the instructions and you're gonna give up on it. It's like doing your taxes.
Yeah.
Except worse. At least you can pay somebody to help you with that. But yeah, this Baby Lou, I feel bad for Baby Lou.
Because they're probably motion sick.
That's right, yeah, puking all over inside. And they've got a gorgeous airframe. So I just don't understand. I feel like you've ruined pits for me.
It's like they're making them look better and better and better, and they're flying
terrible.
Worse and worse.
I mean, really bad, guys. We did one the other day that was a gorgeous flying little thing. It was some rando off-brand too. It wasn't XK. Oh, yeah. Usually XK is really good.
Yeah.
So anyway, XK, I don't know what you're doing, but stop doing that thing, because you're going to stop selling these really quick. Yeah, go back to what you were doing. They were flying great. And whoever's doing your flight controllers, to fire that guy. You get somebody that knows how to make a flight controller work. There's only 4,000 of them on the market right now that work perfectly. So yeah, there's just so much wrong with it. You can't flip it over upside down. You can't get into senior mode. Although I guarantee you, once you get in senior mode, this thing's gonna be a garbage plane, because it's gonna be
in the garbage.
Yeah, then you will crash.
Yeah.
But man, when we have these partners we work with that send these planes for review, it like breaks our heart when they're this bad because we really want to see them succeed. But man, this thing is terrible. So at the end of the day, that's our opinion. That's not fact, it's an opinion. But it's a fact that our opinion is this thing sucks. So at the end of the day, if you guys want to support Brian Phillips RC, all you gotta do is watch the videos, smash the like button, click the bell for notifications, and we'll tell you just about the next stinker we get. I hope we don't get any more in the near future because it really does. It breaks my heart when you have such a beautiful, gorgeous execution on a model and then it flies terrible. I mean, terrible. And we've had planes that are like, well, it flies, but not so great. And it's cool that it flies and it's a talking piece. Yeah, sure. But at the end of the day, it's like you can still control it. So I'm thinking about like the SR-71,
right.
Not one of my favorite flying planes, but yet it's awesome and it's glorious. And you're like, that thing actually flies. And then people are like, well, I need to get that because I don't know how to fly. That'd be a great one to crash. Yeah, right. Good job. Do that. Follow the links. You'll be buying 2 or 3 of them. But like this thing, you'll get it in the air and it will go. And you'll be like, but I don't know what I just did. What just happened? And it's going to be in a tree.
Yeah. That's
what's going to happen. It'll be in a tree. And if you got like 30 or 40 of them, it'll look like a Christmas tree. It's just like ornaments.
Yeah.
So it's good for something.
Well, I think we're done with this one.
Yep. Now you know. Check it out. Links in the video description below. Unbox next. Stay tuned. Oh, guys, you want to support Brian Phillips RC? You don't want to buy this thing? Strangely enough, you could check out other pits at brianphillipsrc.com or bprc.me or supplies. You can find them there, /supplies. We've changed the landing page. When you first get to Brian Phillips RC, they're going to be sorted by types. This would be like general aviation. This would be, what would it be?
That's about all it's going to be.
General aviation?
Yeah. We don't have like a biplane category yet. We don't have quite that many.
Yeah, but we do have quite a few biplanes over the years.
Mm-hmm. It'll be, if you search by brand, it'll be under XK.
That's right.
See other XK things we've done, and maybe there's a better one.
Yeah, because truth be told, like, honestly, I wanted this thing to be awesome. And you know what weirds me out? This is what really weirds me out, guys. And maybe this is why we have the little tiny bit of traction we have on YouTube, is that it's not hard to tell the truth when it's this bad, okay? This is really bad.
I'm not sure how we would have made it look good.
I don't think you could. Well, I had to do a couple of passes.
Yeah, there were a couple of good passes.
And it looked okay, but I'm like, what are you gonna do? Like 30 seconds short and then shorten it even more? Put it on loop? This thing just, it is definitely a talking piece, and that is where it ends. So, all right, guys. Oh, other ways to support us, Patreon. Okay, because we're obviously not gonna make any commissions on this one, that's for sure. And then we have YouTube Super Thanks, YouTube members, and then PayPal. All of them are always appreciated. But we really firmly believe the best way to support us is to buy the planes, maybe just not this one. So definitely hit up bprc.me and you can see what competitive offerings are. If you're after a pits, by the way, I'm just gonna say this right now, since this thing's so stinky, is that the Ultra Micro is awesome. It's quite a bit more expensive. Also the 850, I don't even think they're making that one anymore, was awesome. That was an E-Flight one too, right? Yeah, that was an E-Flight,
yes.
wasn't it? Yeah, that was awesome. It was good. I didn't like it as much as UMX. And then the 1.4 from FMS is awesome.
Amazing.
But it's also a 6S platform, so the battery costs as much as this, okay?
Right.
So, all things considered, cheap, easy to put together. The 6AAs don't come with it. Charger is included. If you've never flown a plane before, don't let this spoil your experience, okay? We're big on one and dones. We want to stop one and dones. That's when people get a plane and they're like, oh my goodness, I couldn't do that. And then you're gonna see this, you're gonna say, how do people do that 3D stuff and all those other flights that you do, Brian? Because they don't fly like this, okay? Don't let this change your mind about flying RC, okay? That's why we do this, because we love this hobby. That's why we're building the aerodrome. That's why we got that giant building over there. That's why we built the dam. That's why we built the dam runway. So we paved this intersection last year. It's because we really do truly care about this hobby. We wanna see it win. We wanna see you guys win. And things like this from China, or wherever it came from, don't help us win, okay? This helps us lose. Because if you take this up and you fly, you're gonna be like, I'm done. There's no way I could fly a big plane. That's because they don't fly like this, okay? So remember, there are some small planes that are fun, that do well. This is not one of them, but it is pretty. And if you like pits, get one. Put it on your shelf. It's probably cheaper than a model, okay? But when you go to fly it and it's terrible, you can think of me. Truth is expensive, guys. Lies are cheap. Stay tuned. Unbox next. YouTube. Brian Phillips. We're gonna open this box right now. It's gonna be amazing. Welcome to Brian Phillips RC. We unbox them, we set them up, we try to teach you some things. We hope you like this one. We hope you like this one. This is like our 4,000th item we've done on this channel. Just kidding, that might be a slight exaggeration.
Slightly.
But we are super excited for this because I like me a Pitts. Oh yeah, look at that. Looks like a Pitts. I don't even think they call this thing a Pitts, but that's okay. We're gonna call it a Pitts because that's what it is. This is called the Sky Reaper. So I'm assuming that they can't call it a Pitts because they probably didn't pay royalties to whatever brand or manufacturer that is. But we're just gonna call it that. It is the A310, and it looks like a really nice little detail. There's even a pilot in there, sweet. 3D 6G, so it's got a stabilizer and auto leveling. It's got a little plane stand, so this is XK branded, pretty good. So we do like the XK brand stuff is usually pretty good. We have had a number of them that are pretty amazing, and we've had a few that are, okay. We're gonna show you what it really is. So without further ado, let's dig in. Welcome to Brian Phillips RC. We do this all the time with all sorts of aircraft. Manual up at the top. So if you could read that to the people right there. 4-channel 3D 6G airplane, okay. Follow the links in the video description below. You can find one for yourself if you wanna buy one. So it looks like it's got a single acting servo in the center. And there's a little ball link adapter right there. This is very bright, so it should be good to see.
Yeah.
Even though we have snow on the ground, which is disgusting because the snow should be long gone. Okay, so we've got the top wing, a little bit of reinforcement, but not much. Exercise your well, this would be ailerons. Exercise your ailerons a little bit when you get this out. Now, can't exercise these because they're attached, but just keep in mind that single acting servo is gonna be moving 4 huge surfaces. I'm kind of guessing that little 1.5 gram servo, whatever size it is not going to be really sustainable for that. Okay. Evidently there was a death inside of this plane. Look at the output on that. That's so weird. Look at that from the top.
Oh,
They got an adapter,
really
but it looks beautiful. Gorgeous prop. Gorgeous spinner, really clean action. And yes, this is a brushless motor. It's not like a quick release that I can tell. I was thinking maybe it was because the way it goes on there, it looks like it's screwed on. So once you take this off, this has a Phillips screwdriver. You can pull that assembly apart, which is always nice to be able to do that. That being said, I'm not sure. I'm probably gonna need scissors to do this step because I wanna show you what it looks like. I had the knife out, but I guess we're gonna need scissors this time. So here on Brian Phillips RC, we like to go through the unbox process, start to finish. That includes all the disgusting details if they're not good. And they aren't all disgusting, but sometimes we get into these planes and it's a real pain in the neck to put them together or some such thing, and we will share the full truth. Nothing but the truth, so help us God. Or some of the competitors on YouTube will just show you all the highlights. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean that there's not some level of fun in working through the frustration of building some of these models. I'm just being super careful as I do this because I've never seen them do this on a plane before.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Baby Lou, what in the heck is that steering column up there for? Very weird, but beautiful. I like that there's a guy in there. I kind of wish his shirt was a different color than the body, but it's okie dokie. We have an N number. Looks like a nice, solid feeling plane. It feels nice. It's got a little bit of heft to it though, but it is definitely got protection here. It looks like one of the batteries is tucked in here. That's what I was looking for. Why are there 2 in there? Is there 2 in there?
Are they wrapped up together?
Why are there 2 balance leads? Oh yeah, how the heck am I supposed to get that out without screwing something up?
That seems a little...
Yeah, and then they had the antenna stuffed in there. Definitely not a fan of the way they did that. I'm gonna use these scissors to get this little chunk of foam out there. Ooh, this has a DSM plug on it, I bet. DSM plug. Yeah, I bet that thing will do DSM-X, which is pretty, DSM. So you'd have to put a satellite receiver in there. There are definitely 2 batteries in this package. I'm not sure the best way to do this, so I'm gonna do it as careful as possible. These are lipos, so don't cut your lead. I'm just gonna very carefully get an edge. I'm gonna work it back and make sure I'm not catching another lead, okay? Not a fan of that packaging.
No.
That was, to the layman, that could be like fire starting time.
Yeah.
Okay, lithium polymer packs. We're gonna charge these right now. These are a 7.4 volts at 500 milliamp hours. I show the people. So 2 of them in this case. This is a JST connection. This is a Hextronics connection for the balance lead. So there's 2 cells that are in series. So this is how we're gonna charge that. Let's plug them in right now. We'll be using a smart charger because we're up against it on time. So the smart charger set up, we got a couple of batteries out earlier. We're thinking we might need those. We're gonna plug these in this balance lead. We'll go into your run-of-the-mill charger on the negative most side. Line that up with the black, okay? And that's gonna plug in there. Okay, and then I'm gonna plug in the orange to the red because this has an adapter to go into our IC3 connection. It looks like it's shipped at 4.02 volts. So we're gonna go in here and change this. This is a 500 milliamp hour, so we can highlight that value and change this down to 0.5 amps or 500 milliamp hours. And we'll start that. And it's charging as a LiPo. Now, if you don't have the correct adapters, just remember there should be a charger in this, but we're gonna go ahead and charge both of these. And I wanna show you with the XBC battery checker what the voltage is here. So if you guys don't have one of these, it's a must-have. XBC 100, here you go, 78%. So it's shipped at about 4 volts. That's really good. We also have an XBC 200, but it's buried, so I'm gonna go with this. Now, the other thing too is keep in mind, when you have the smart chargers, you can still charge dumb batteries. Do we not have another? We might take a second and find it. Okay, I found one. It's got IC2 adapters in it, but that's okay. We'll plug this in, and we're gonna plug this to the discharge lead and just show you, you can see 8 volts here, but you can't charge it without hooking up the balance lead. That's how you balance charge the batteries. So then this one's set to 5 amps, probably a little bit too fast. That'd be like 10C. I'm gonna charge this one at about 1 amp. And you can see it's set to LiPo. So we'll go down to start and hit start. Okay. So this one's gonna charge faster. And we're gonna pick back up with our unboxed portion. So here on Brian Phillips RC, we like to show the entire process from start to finish so that you guys aren't left wanting for setup and the necessary help. If you're brand new to the hobby, we're gonna try to get you in the air as painlessly as possible. There's a lot of things that these manufacturers say and do that makes you scratch your head because you're like, how would I know that if somebody didn't tell me? We're here to tell you, okay? These are quite literally rubber tires. Feel them.
They are?
Yep,
Oh.
and then nice wheel pants. They're actually really nice, good amount of splay on that. I hope it's not too weak by the time we get all the way to this aircraft on here. That's gonna, of course, go in there, and we have to mount the wing, and then the battery is gonna slide into this cavity, and it's gonna be energized through this GST female connector here, or it's actually technically a male because it's got pins inside of the socket that's plastic, okay? So the battery is gonna slide in there. It looks like it's gonna go depth-wise, but you can also go this way. And that was stuck on their piece of cardboard, okay? So in terms of the assembly of this aircraft, should be a relatively easy assembly, but there's one more thing inside the box hiding, and that is transmitter. So we'll just kind of give that a tap, pop that out. Ooh, look, they've got decent sticks on here. Sometimes we don't have sharp tips, okay? So for kids, this would fit their hands well. For adults, you can get it done. If you have huge man hands, might be a bit of an issue. Okay, so just so you see this, you can take and unjam this. See how that screws in and out? You can run that in and it stops there. And then this goes down if you want to shorten the sticks. These sticks feel unusually long to me. It's a little bit weird. Not sure why they're so long, but it's got a power button, just toggles up and down, trimmers left and right, trimmer up and down for throttle, trimmer for elevator, and trimmer for ailerons. And then there's 6G sensor, 6G 3D, light control, and dual rates, okay? So we'll figure out what those rates actually mean. We're gonna take a quick sec, clean up, and come right back. All right, so full disclosure, we have stuff in here. There were not 4 AA's included with this. That's pretty conventional. So we're just gonna break out some Amazon AA's. We need 6. So the camera crew is gonna pause, we're gonna get more. And some movie magic, we have 6 now. Battery, flat side goes down, flat side goes up, flat side goes down, flat side goes up, the flat side being the negative, the bump side being positive. And of course there is a diagram in there that shows you what direction they go. If you are brand new to the hobby and you don't know how to put batteries in, we'll help you on Brian Phillips RC because we understand that everybody needs help at some point. But if you need to learn about batteries, that's a lot of batteries, and we got even more, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So that being said, turning on the transmitter. Okay, this is not spring loaded. We've seen that before. And there's probably gonna be some like arming procedure, but since it's not connected to the receiver, it's just gonna flash. So I'm gonna turn that off. There is a lanyard attachment point if you like lanyards, but we'll come back to that. With 6 batteries in there, it's pretty heavy. Okay, so there's also a plane stand. The plane stand snaps together. My recommendation, if you're not gonna use this, you wanna pack it back in the box. Don't snap it together because it's gonna snap together. It's gonna be really challenging to unsnap together. All right, so once that's snapped together, you can get them apart, but sometimes these tabs will break, so just be aware of that. Of course, that's a plane stand, and that is the rest of that bag. And then we have a spare prop in here, which is nice. Now this prop is not gonna be painted tipped, okay? So if you break your first prop, you're gonna lose that feature, which is a bummer because it looks really sweet. And that's gonna show up when you're flying. Really neat. I love the way this plane looks, by the way. It looks gorgeous, okay? And then here's the charger that's provided. In fact, let's go ahead and show you charging with this charger. I did mention earlier that we wanted to charge quick because we're up against the wire on timing. But if you come over here, one of these batteries is already charged and we only had to put 55 milliamp hours in it. That would be this one. Seems to me like there should probably be a little bit more. So going back to channel 1, this one has about 58 milliamp hours charged into it. So let's unplug this. And let's unplug this and we'll take a look at how this works. First of all, this is a USB style charger. So I'll just grab my run of the mill. This happens to be a pretty big charger. And if you guys ever need stuff like this, check out brianphillipsrc.com/supplies. There's nothing special about this. You can use this. You could even use something from a tablet or from, you could even plug it into your laptop if you want. Or your cell phone, whatever, it doesn't matter. Plug it into the wall outlet, and then you plug this into the USB-A port, and there's a red and looks like a red and green flashing light. And then this would plug into the balance lead, okay? So this is gonna plug in just like this, and it's gonna go to a red status light until it's done. It's gonna change green, okay? Now, full disclosure, we didn't use this charger on this particular battery because we wanted to get it done faster. This will charge quite a bit slower than what we did, but it is going to give you about 2 amps at 5 volts. So that's 1,000 milliamp hours at 7.4 volts output, okay? So you're gonna bring in about 5 volts at 2 amps will give you 7.4 volts at 1,000 milliamp hours. So it's actually charging at 2C. So I don't believe it would charge that fast. I think it would charge a lot slower, but it is what it is. It does come with that. You don't have to reinvent the wheel to necessarily do this, but we prefer to use our high quality chargers where possible because they just work really well, okay? That being said, if you ever wanna get one of those chargers, check it out on our channel. That is not included with the plane. Ready to fly means it comes with everything you need most of the time except for transmitter batteries because they're cheap enough that it doesn't make sense to ship them overseas, okay? That being said, we're gonna pull out a chair. We're gonna do the assembly. Should be pretty quick assembly. Looks like the piece count's really low. Comes with a Phillips screwdriver. The tip on this is pretty small. It's got a hex drive on the back. You don't need that, don't worry about it. And then 2 carbon fiber joiners that are gonna join the top aileron and the bottom aileron, okay? So that's gonna be like a ball link coupler, okay? There is a bigger opening and a smaller opening. If you look real close, you're gonna snap this side on. And if you don't snap that side on, you're gonna struggle to snap it in here. It won't fit because you can't cram it in that hole. It's too small. See the difference? Bigger, smaller, okay? So study that. And we have another tail wheel with a rubber tire. That is so dang cool. I'm loving that the tires are looking so much better. There's also a bunch of screws, which is kind of a little bit demoralizing. I'm concerned we're gonna need all these screws, but I don't know where you would put them. So I guess we'll figure it out right now. Looks like we're gonna have to put screws in to hold the top and bottom together. This is indicated as right. This is indicated as left, okay? So if you have 2 lefts or 2 rights, you're in trouble because it won't work. All right, then we have the lower wing, which is gonna key into the bottom of the fuselage. And it looks like it's gonna go this way and it's gonna drop down in, but you have to get this wire landed. So this wire has to go in painstakingly right underneath all that active stuff. So how do you put a wire like this into a tight spot like that? Well, you just stick it in there and hope for the best. It is keyed, it will only go one way correctly. And you see that little bump? That bump, I believe, goes toward the servo. So I'm just gonna try sliding it through. And then once you get it in and you got it lined up, just press the connector very gently. And if you get it wrong, it won't go, okay? So I'm just gonna press gently. And then the other thing you can do is you can actually plug in your battery and you'll be able to see this thing spring to life, okay? So now the other thing you can do is look at the colors. The black is going toward the front, but sometimes these connectors are not lined up the same. Now that is different. That's got 2 plugs on it, okay? 2 contacts, 2 pins, if you will. This had 3, that has 3, okay? So you're gonna know the difference between them by how many wires are there. Now the other thing is you'll notice I went to the middle. So I'm actually straddling to the center. That's intentional, okay? So now before I get too bent out of shape about how this is gonna go, I'm gonna literally put this wire, I'm gonna push it back toward the center into the middle gap, okay? And then I'm gonna slide the wing back, walk it into position, and I'm gonna take my screwdriver and just make sure that that wire gets out of the way so that as we press this down, we don't pinch it to the extent that it doesn't work, okay? So I'm also looking this way right now, making sure it's clear, and it is, or it appears to be. Slipping it in, went in okay, and then I'm noticing some of this like fuzz and crap here. I'm assuming that's like fiberglass, something or another, but I'm not super worried about it. I wanna make sure this is gonna work before I invest the time it takes to put 4,000 screws in here, okay. But I am gonna go ahead and put 1 screw in, okay? So there's long and short screws, wonderful.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna have to figure out which ones are long and which ones are short. So with respect to that, all of the screws appear to be Phillips. So it looks like they are magnetically attached or magnetically attracted to the tip. And it looks like these are, some of them are fine and some of them are coarse. See, fine, coarse. Mm-hmm. That is really obnoxious. These are coarse, these are coarse, coarse. Why would they have fine and coarse?
The manual does call out a difference between a 1.
Would you show the people that picture?
So installation procedure here is to lock 3 1.7 times 8 PB screws.
Okay, so listen, there's 4 longer ones. The 4 longer ones likely hold the top and bottom of these together, I'm assuming.
Okay.
Show the people the pictures.
Then the rest of them are listed as 1.6. Okay. And that would be to hold the wing on. So that would be the shorter, nope, that says 1.7 and then 1.6. The shorter ones, the 1.6 hold on the wing struts, go down into the, or whatever you want to call those, that separate the wing.
Okay, so what's the long ones do?
The long ones hold on the top wing when we get to that point,
okay.
and
the bottom wing
in there.
Okay, so I'm gonna put a long one in the bottom here.
Yes.
Okay. So now the long ones all appear to have the same coarseness, and maybe I'm mistaken in my assessment about coarse versus fine. I honestly, I don't know, but it seems to be going in okay. So we're just gonna go ahead and run this in until such a time as it bottoms out and it kind of stops moving. Okay, so that's pretty good. First things first, looks really good, looks sweet. Don't try to fly it this way. I don't think you're gonna have good success, but it is possible that you could fly it if you went really, really, really fast, okay? All right, so then the next step is going to be basically, we have to put all the rest of it together. Before I commit to that, I'm gonna turn on the transmitter. I'm gonna hold the stick all the way down, make sure it's in the downward-most position. I'm gonna slide this battery in here. Now remember, this will run, all the electronic components are gonna be hooked up at this point. Okay, I'm gonna leave this upside down and I'm gonna line up, the red is gonna go toward you, camera crew, okay. And the red is toward you on the receiver end of it. Plugging it in. Now I'm just gonna slide all the rest of this junk back in here, snap it closed, Yep, so now it's snapped closed. Everything looks good. That is a zip tie, by the way, that passes through. Okay. So now, if I wanted, I could also put the landing gear on. But it looks like the landing gear have a couple of screws there to hold those in more permanently as well. So that's probably the those short screws
ones.
So all I want to do is see if my ailerons are working, and they are.
Good.
So it's going the correct direction. So camera crew, elevator up, elevator down, roll left, roll right, yaw left, yaw right. Cool. And this does have a non-steerable tail wheel. So you guys see this? This is going to go in like that. How do you tell what direction the tail wheel goes? Because this matches the contour of the aircraft, okay? If you put it the wrong way, it's gonna look dumb, okay? So that gets you a nice stance, like what you would expect on the airplane, okay? So we need to use the shorter ones, right?
No, it actually says the longer ones on the gear, but then you're not gonna have the two to put in the top.
Unless you know what? There might be one more long one in here.
Okay.
Look, this one might be another long one. I don't know. They're so close. I doubt it's going to be a problem, folks. So I guess I'm going to go with long ones for the landing gear mains. So we'll just go in here, and then we'll go ahead and get these cranked down. The other thing too is keep in mind that I have the battery plugged in. I would normally not leave a battery plugged in on an application like this, because if this thing is going to run away, or if I bump the throttle, it might actually spool up. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep this transmitter further away from where I'm working. Just in the unlikely event that I would bump it, I don't want to have the throttle start and cut my hands. So the other thing I could do is I could just unplug it, but I want to keep testing it periodically to make sure that I don't have it disconnect or move weird. Okay, so that's all the way in. And then I'm going to press that down in there just with my thumbs. Okay, looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So far, so good. Now, this is labeled as left. So left relative to the pilot. So the left from the pilot is going to put the more decorative side out, and then the sort of unfinished side in. Okay, same thing here. The right is here. And you can tell what direction they go because just the size, it lines up in the contour. If you try to put it in wrong, it wouldn't fit. Okay, so now that we've got those in, we can flip these over, and we'll go ahead and run the screws in. Now, I do not know if there's actually a difference or if this is just, you know, really, really, really cheap Chinese screws, and I'm guessing probably the latter, really, 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 really cheap Chinese screws.
Probably.
But it doesn't matter because you're running a mechanical apparatus that's made of steel into a mechanical apparatus that's made of plastic. I don't think you're gonna have any issues with this, and so even if you did it wrong, it's still gonna work. And frankly, I don't think the only place you're gonna run into problems is if you try to use the longer screws in this step. Because if you do, that might lead to a conflict and that it will break out the actual retention clip that you're going into. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. If you look right here, you can see that that penetrates the wing a certain amount. If in doubt, hold the screw up next to that and then make sure you're not going to overreach. You see? Mm-hmm. You're not going to overreach. Now, if I take one of the long ones like this, would I overreach? Probably. And you'll blow out this plastic. Then you're gonna have a weak connection, okay? So the next move, of course, is going to be to put the wing on top. This has gone pretty smooth, pretty easy. You wouldn't absolutely have to have a connection through from the ailerons on the bottom. That is a really nice fit, actually. Beautiful fit. This is a gorgeous plane. We've seen a lot of planes in this size class. How big is this? 400 millimeters?
I think it's 400.
So, and just even snapping that together, it looks absolutely fantastic. So the next move is to put the long screw in. I think I'm gonna do the long screw maybe on the front. Yeah, I'm gonna go on the front with the long screw, okay? And we'll see if that bites. Now look at that cinch down. Watch as I screw this in. Does it cinch down? It sure does.
Yep.
Okay, very good. So I'm gonna just take the next longer screw. There was one that was sort of longer, but not as long as the longest one. And I'm gonna put that right here. To be honest with you, you can get away with a little bit shorter, but you can't get away with a longer interchangeably, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. You can put the shorter ones in the long positions, but I just don't think you'll get as much purchase as you want. Feels like it's sort of spinning a little bit, so I'm just gonna leave it.
Okay.
Good enough for me. Then we have one screw on either end. Now you'll notice there's about 4 trillion extra screws. if you want to just give them a shot of the pile of extra screws. We're used to having extra screws on planes, but that is a ludicrous amount of extra screws.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're not used to having extra screws in assemblies that you work with, then you're not probably doing a lot of RC airplanes. We have seen them dwindle down to where you're just getting one of each type in the most robust offerings, okay? These are nice and tight, which is the way I want it, because those are on the outboard portion of the wing. That is a sweet looking plane. I'm actually really, really happy with the way this looks. I hope it flies half as good as it looks. Okay, so now let's look at this. There's a right way and a wrong way. The right way is bigger, and it's pretty obvious in person. I hope it shows on camera that way. So this is the bigger is going in. So I'm just gonna snap it onto here. Remember, you do need to support the stuff. It's made of foam, you can rip it. Oh yeah, that's snapped on, no problemo. Okay, oh yeah, easy. Easy peasy, folks. Easy peasy, just give it a quick evaluation. Bigger, yep, bigger goes here. And then once you're lined up on one of them, you're pretty much stuck on the other one, okay? So now let's check. Oh yeah, elevator, oh yeah. Everything is built. So now we're gonna take a minute, clean up, and we'll come right back. All right, so with the plane stand, if you wanna use the plane stand, of course mine is plugged in and everything, you can slide this in there, and it just snaps in real quick and easy. You've got a nice little display. That is awesome, actually. I love the display stand. Cool. My son built one for the way more expensive Micro Draco.
Yep.
And I love that this thing has a stand. It actually works too. And we have seen a number of stands for a number of different planes. And I'll tell you what, having plane stands makes a difference because you can put one right next to it then. So helps on space. Also spare prop, good call. And charger, of course, included is pretty run of the mill. I'm not gonna sing praises of a charger because they're just kind of a dime a dozen. In fact, I would say about every dozen, you're gonna have one that works really slow or something.
Right.
So screwdriver was fine. We have no problems with those. On a routine basis, we keep hundreds of those, yes. Okay? But that screwdriver meshed up fine. We didn't have any issues. I will tell you, they have kind of the tip is sort of milled down flat. So if you're trying to use a proper screwdriver, you might have trouble because they're a little bit too pointy in our experience. Okay, so now real quick test of controls. We haven't actually activated the motor yet. All the way up, it beeps, and then all the way down. Now it should be armed. Yep, it is, and it definitely has some thrust. Let's see what the power's like. Oh yeah, it's got good power. I don't know if it's gonna be a powerhouse, but you can see the stabilizer. It's moving the rudder to resist environmental impact. Same thing with the ailerons. A little harder to see. Elevator, same thing with the elevator. It's resisting whatever direction I'm moving. Now, is it trying to find auto level? I don't see that yet, so I'm not sure how to switch between modes, but I would assume 6G versus 3D. There's also a button that says light control. So I pressed light control, light control, light control. Okay, so there's no lights on this. And then dual rates. So rolled, dual rates, that's more, that's less. Look at the elevator. That's more, that's less. Look at the rudder. That's more, that's less. Okay, so I'm on the more now. You can hear a double beep or a beep. Beep means you're on low, beep beep means you're on high, okay? And then there's 6G 3D. So there's 6G and you see a beep beep, beep beep, beep beep, okay? So if I flip this upside down, it looks like we're allowed to do all the things. Hit it again. Now it looks like, I can't tell if that's auto leveling or not. And then there's the sensor, 6G sensor. Now it's got a faster flash, flash, flash. So it's got, I just don't know what mode's what. So did it say in the manual?
I don't know, we'll have to read the rest of it.
Okay, so we're gonna read the rest of it and tell you what it says. All right, so this is why in our Unbox build radio setups, we sometimes read instructions. Go ahead, take it away.
Okay, 3D 6G mode switch. The default is 6G mode, which makes the flight more stable. When you are skilled in flight and want to do stunts, you can press the switch button to 3D mode. Press the button twice in 3D mode and once in 6G mode. The operating system is more sensitive in 3D mode. Please switch the 3D mode when the aircraft is at high altitude to familiarize yourself with the flight and pay attention to flight safety. 6G mode, more stable flight can be summarized the mode of study and holding when level fly. In this case, plane can only fly flat, cannot roll, inverted fly, side fly, somersault, or other stunts. Special note, this flight modes can be arbitrarily switched by a switch as the following figure. If the aircraft caused emergency in 3D mode, switch to mode of 6G made the aircraft to level flight immediately to reduce the crash possibility.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it. I totally understand.
Makes perfect sense.
Perfect.
So this is why channels like Brian Phillips RC exist. We'll just go fly this thing and we'll tell you what button to press.
What to do.
Because the truth is, that is the way Chinese manuals always are.
Well, not
sometimes
always,
they're worse. Sometimes they're a lot worse. But that was pretty terrible. Okay. And what about flying near hospitals and handicapped people?
Nope.
What about Boskage?
Nope.
Did they talk about that?
I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay. Is that a picture inside of the transmitter?
It is actually.
Good Lord. Are you serious?
To switch modes. If you need to switch between mode 1 and mode 2.
Okay. So guys, listen, mode 1, mode 2. Let's talk about this for a sec. Mode 1 is another way. Mode 2 this is throttle, rudder, ailerons, elevator. Okay. If you want to look up the modes, just go to Google and say modes, RC modes. There's 6 of them, okay? I use mode 2. Most of North America flies in mode 2. If you're in Europe, a lot of you guys are flying in mode 1. I don't know why that is. It might be a Japan thing.
I know, it's so weird.
But either way, all I know is it would be incredibly difficult for somebody that flies in mode 2 to fly in mode 1 and vice versa. So if you want to do that, de-energize the plane, open the back of it, take it all apart, and do the things they say in the manual. We aren't changing modes.
There is a senior mode, so maybe that's for you.
Senior?
This button says 6G senior. There's 6G and 3D. What does yours say?
Senior. It says senior. That's
says
senor. Senor.
I don't know
That's what it is. No, it's supposed to be like skilled. Like if you're old and good at it.
Oh,
or are you saying it's like old and geriatric patient?
That's what I was meaning.
Okay, so here on Brian Phillips RC, we always tell you all the details about Captain Dardened Baby Lou.
Wait, I found it.
What, you found it?
Yes, this is the senior mode, which is manual mode. Remote starts by default in 6G attitude mode. You can switch to advanced mode by pressing a button. If the advanced mode, the gyroscope is completely turned off and purely manual control. It's recommended to fly at a certain altitude and switch to avoid operating errors and reduce possibility of crashes. Long press to hover exit, which is the far, that's the rates.
Camera at me.
That's the rates
There's
button.
labels. I don't know. This is why we don't read manuals, guys. So at the end of the day, we'll show you how to do it because we already flew it. If you're still watching this video, thanks for watching. Support Brian Phillips RC. Smash the like button. Click the bell for notifications when you do subscribe. If you want to buy things from the links, you'll help support us with small commissions from the companies that we work with. And we bring the videos to you, and we want you guys to get the best for your RC dollars. And the best way we can know how to do that is to show you how terrible they are if they're terrible, and or how great they are if they're great. Also, if you want to support us in other ways, we have YouTube members. Thanks for being members. YouTube super thanks for one time, Patreon for one time, Patreon for monthly support, and then PayPal for one-time donations. Always welcome. We appreciate all of that. But at the end of the day, the best way to support Brian Phillips RC is watch videos, smash the like button, and then buy stuff when you like them. Because we've done a lot of videos over the years, and this is just in the recent 6-7 months. At the end of the day, I love this hobby. That's why we're building an aerodrome. That's why we have 3 runways on our property. And that's why we're spending ungodly amounts of money on that building out there. And it's going to be awesome. We can't wait to share the entire process with you. Someday we will. We'll be giving you updates as soon as there's updates to be given. We wish there was more, but it's kind of in the midst of winter here. So that being said, this looks good. XK usually does good products, and so we're hoping it's as good as it looks because it looks phenomenal. And if it flies half as good, I'll be very happy. But that being said, guys, support us. Buy them from the links when you do like them. Any other questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. We'll do our best to get back to you. But with that being said, there's so much more right around the corner. So stay tuned to Brian Phillips RC. Thanks for watching. Come back for more.